What's going on, everybody? I'm Commander RestlessCorpse, and welcome back to Elite Dangerous. Check it out. I found another Earth-like. This is, I think Earth-like number 12. Unfortunately, this one was already scanned by somebody, I guess named, I think, Blood Axe. I don't know. I haven't looked in a while. But I'm pretty sure that that's going to be the case with the most of them that I find on the way home. They're probably, you know, this route straight from the bubble to Sagittarius has probably been just overused by everyone, just back and forth. So I'm not too, I guess, expectant, I guess, of finding anything. I mean, I'm still running into a lot of systems that are undiscovered, but that's just the nature of, like, you know, the varying jump ranges and things like that. And then there's always going to be people who don't care about the system they jump in unless it has something awesome. I mean, I take it a little step further, and I still always scan at least the main star. But I would assume that if somebody is in a hurry to get to Sagittarius and they, you know, use their advanced scanner and then check the system map, if there's nothing good, they don't even waste time scanning the main star. I don't know. I always make sure that I scan the main star so that I have a record. What I'd really like is if at some point Frontier adds a thing where you can go to the galaxy map, maybe a checkbox, to only show the systems that you have scanned. So it'd be really cool to be able to see, like, the path that I took and stuff like that, because I couldn't tell you at all the name of any system that I've been to unless I were to go back and watch my previous videos. But I don't know if they have any kind of, like, plans to do anything like that. I think I heard something about a log, like an exploration log. I don't know if that's the way it's going to work. I don't remember if that was an official thing that I heard or if just somebody, you know, saying, hey, I'd like to do that, or I would like you guys to do that. I know there's, like, websites out there, Inara or something like that, that you can do, like, a captain's log thing on, but I don't think that it quite has what I'm looking for. But anyway, I'm still making my way back, and I'm actually not that far from where I was at the end of yesterday's video. As you can see, I've already plotted a course because it takes so long to plot these damn courses now that I like to set them up before I even start. But as you can see, I mean, I'm a decent... Oh, we got somebody over here too. That's pretty cool. I'm a decent distance away from Sagittarius, I guess. I mean, maybe a tenth of the way, something like that. I don't anticipate it taking me too long to get home, to be quite honest. But let's go ahead and start it up. And as usual, guys, if I find anything awesome, I'll let you know. All right, so I'm actually in the second route of the night because I got to the end of the other route, and there never really was anything all that interesting. So I had to plot a second route, and I'm already kind of halfway through that. Still haven't found anything interesting, but I wanted to bring up something. And once again, this is not really related to Elite Dangerous, but it kind of, in some weird way, kind of is. But it is related to the rumors of the new Call of Duty. Now, I don't know how many of my viewers actually pay attention to Call of Duty or play it, but when it comes to me and it comes to game types, I'm all over the board. Like, it doesn't matter what genre a game is. If I like it, I play it. Now, I have stated that I haven't really been interested in Call of Duty in a long time. The last one that I played competitively in multiplayer, like on a regular basis, was Modern Warfare 2. And it is of my opinion that Modern Warfare 2 was the last great Call of Duty. Now, I absolutely love Call of Duty 4 and Modern Warfare 2. And when I remember being super excited about Modern Warfare 3, and when I bought it and I played it, I was just like, I don't, you know, because one of the very important things for me in a multiplayer, like, online competitive game are the maps. And I think that Call of Duty 4 had amazing maps, and Call of Duty had some great maps, but they also imported a lot of the amazing maps from Call of Duty 4 into Modern Warfare 2. So I was able to play all of my, you know, well, at least most of my favorites from Modern Warfare, or from the first one, from Call of Duty 4. And then when Modern Warfare 3 came out, that was after the whole rift with Infinity Ward and all that stuff, and they didn't really have great maps, and they weren't able to bring the other maps to it, so it just kind of started falling off. I played Black Ops a couple times, but I really wasn't that into it, and that's just kind of like when I stopped giving a shit. That's kind of only beside the point, because there is a small point that I'm going to be making with the actual point of this conversation right now, and that is, it is rumored that the next Call of Duty, the Call of Duty this year, is going to be in space. Now, I don't know how many people have heard these rumors, or if you have, I don't know if you've heard like any details about it or anything like that, but they're saying that there's going to be space combat. Now, they didn't, as far as I know, because I don't really hunt down the info for this, but I was kind of intrigued about this, and a lot of people are very upset. I mean, there are videos out there of big Call of Duty YouTubers decrying this, and, you know, making petitions and stuff like that to change this. So it turns out that the next Call of Duty is going to be made by Infinity Ward, which I would be very happy about if not for the fact that all of the good people from Infinity Ward actually left and made Respawn. So the Infinity Ward now is not the same Infinity Ward that it was back in Call of Duty 4 and Modern Warfare 2, but that's beside the point. The point is, the next Call of Duty is supposedly in space with space combat. Now, I don't know if that means, you know, fighter ships and stuff like that, because generally Call of Duty is an on-foot type of thing. I'm going to assume that that means, you know, guerrilla warfare out in space, maybe on space stations and stuff like that. But apparently it's supposed to take place a couple hundred years in the future. It is Call of Duty Ghosts 2 is what everybody's saying, and a lot of people are very upset about that, because Call of Duty Ghosts was actually pretty terrible, and not a whole lot of people like that. They're wondering why the hell they would make a Ghosts 2 when Ghosts was the least selling Call of Duty since Modern Warfare 4, or not Modern Warfare 4, but Call of Duty 4, something like that. It was the least selling. Like it seems every Call of Duty gets more and more sales each year, except for Ghosts, which was vastly underwhelming. But the point is, like, it's out in space and it's in the future. What if they have noticed that games like Elite Dangerous and games like Star Citizen and you know, No Man's Sky coming up are gaining popularity, and they're going to want to do this type of combat? Now, I think that's a little far-fetched. Don't get me wrong. I don't think that Call of Duty is suddenly going to put people in like, you know, spaceships that are having space battles and stuff like that. Again, I think it's just going to be like maybe a map on the aboard a capital ship or something, or, you know, on a space station, stuff like that with low gravity and whatever. But if they do manage or decide to make like ship combat, like, you know, we would have in your standard space sim, and they added the ability to board other ships to get your classic Call of Duty combat, how would that affect games like this? I mean, I know that this game obviously is a lot more deep than just a straight up multiplayer shooter, even though some people will say that Elite Dangerous isn't that deep at all. If you take it into that context, it is actually way more. Did I descan here? But it is way more deep than I think a Call of Duty game could ever be. But what if there are, you know, these super fun, well, I'm not going to say they're fun. Like, I'm going to give it, because a lot of people don't like Call of Duty, I get it. So what if there are space battles that you're in fighter ships for, and then you can also board capital ships to take the fight there? Like, what would you guys think of that? I personally would be very interested, and I would actually like to see it, because say what you will about Call of Duty, but it's a very well-made game. Like, it has its problems and it has its idiotic design choices and stuff like that, but they always mesh really well, and it is a very solid and fluid shooter that obviously has become as popular as it is for a reason. Now, there's always, you know, people that don't like anything that is popular, and they'll say, you know, Call of Duty is shit because it's, you know, mindless and whatever. But look, millions and millions of people like the game. It's doing very well, so obviously they're doing something right. If they were to add something like that in, I mean, I'm kind of on the fence about it, to be honest. But aside from that, one of the things that I did want to say was that it is also... Oh, hello, Matt. I don't know what's going on, but we'll just reload that. One of the rumors about the next Call of Duty is if you pre-order it... Hold on, let me see what's in here. Nothing super interesting. There's a lot of ringed planets and gas giants, though. I might be able to get that one. If these are... Yeah, these are close enough that I'm going to just scan them for where I am. But it's rumored that if you pre-order the next Call of Duty, that you will get remastered and updated digital copies of Call of Duty 4 and Modern Warfare 2. Now, again, say what you will about Call of Duty, but that excites the hell out of me because, like I said, those were the two best and last great Call of Duties. So, if this turns out to be true, I will be getting the game. I will be pre-ordering it just for that. I probably won't do anything with Call of Duty on the channel. I tried that before, was not happy. I did that with Advanced Warfare, and I just halfway through. Well, first of all, Activision kept trying to give me copyright strikes, so I discontinued the series. But I was already kind of not feeling it, and back then I didn't really talk a lot in my videos back then. Whatever. There were several reasons why I decided to discontinue that. But that being said, regardless of how good the next Call of Duty is, I will most likely not be putting any of that on my channel because I know that I don't watch Call of Duty videos. I mean, there are certain YouTubers that I watch, like Kostef and whatnot, but I don't watch him for the Call of Duty. I watch him because he's entertaining to me. But I just wanted to throw that out there. I want to see what people's opinions are. What if Call of Duty actually tries to incorporate more than just ground fighting into their games? And because they're going into the space era a couple hundred years in the future, what if they actually find some unique way to take their engine and apply it to spaceships? I mean, that might be cool, right? I guess what I'm trying to say, guys, is Call of Duty might be trying to muscle in on our shit. And depending on how they play this, coupled with the fact that No Man's Sky is going to allow people to land on planets right off the bat, on, I guess, any planet, it feels to me like Elite Dangerous needs to get their shit together with all these planned features and stuff that games will be coming out with already in. And I feel like it's very dangerous for Elite Dangerous to not step up their game and work on these things when all these other games are coming out with these features that Elite has planned, but not for years down the road. You see what I'm saying? Now, granted, in the case of No Man's Sky, it's a different art aesthetic. It's not as realistic. I seriously doubt that it's going to have the scope that Elite Dangerous has, being the entire Milky Way. I'm pretty sure No Man's Sky is like a fictional galaxy, but I don't think that it's going to be nearly as big. I don't think it's nearly going to have the scientifically accurate stuff like Elite Dangerous has, you know. Or at least the stuff that is scientifically accurate. But you know what I mean, like real science behind like stars and bodies and stuff like that. What do we have here? That is metal. So once again, I'm not worried that, you know, other games are going to come out and absolutely blow Elite Dangerous out of the water. Although it could happen. I mean, No Man's Sky might be the greatest thing to ever happen to video games or space video games ever. Who knows? I'm once again, I'm kind of on the fence on whether or not I want that to be true. I absolutely love Elite Dangerous. I have immense fun with it. I play it every day, as you guys have noticed. But as loyal as I am to Elite Dangerous, I know that there's Star Citizen out there, which I don't know if you guys remember or if I've ever actually talked about it, but the whole reason I got Elite Dangerous was to tide me over because I played Star Citizen first, and Star Citizen absolutely blew me away, but I did everything that was available in what is playable now, and I wanted more. So I looked up Elite Dangerous and bought it just to try it, just to see if it would tide me over. And it turns out that like, I've had people on my comments say things like Star Citizen is way better than Elite Dangerous. That may be true in terms of, like, I guess, aesthetics, maybe. But if you look at content, like what each game has to offer, Elite Dangerous has loads more than Star Citizen right now. Now, it's not to say that Star Citizen is not working on a whole lot more. I did recently see, like, well, not recently, it was maybe a month ago, the reveal of, like, you know, seamless transition of landing on planets, even ones with atmosphere. I mean, there was, like, a space station and stuff on one of the planets that they landed on. And they flew around the planet for a little bit. I mean, it looked kind of the same as Elite Dangerous' planets. It looked all procedurally generated, you know, random mountains and hills and ravines and stuff like that. That just seems to be the way the procedurally generated stuff is. But at its core right now, I believe that to get, or like, in terms of, like, gaming experience, I believe that Elite Dangerous has more to offer right now than Star Citizen. Now, that may not be the case when No Man's Sky comes out, because No Man's Sky is already boasting more, like, substance than Elite Dangerous has at the moment. And the game's not out, so we can't really see if that's going to be the case. Maybe all talk. A lot of games nowadays have been coming out not delivering what they promise. And I think that a lot of you who have been playing Elite Dangerous for a long time will say that Elite Dangerous is one of them. It came out and it did not really deliver a lot of the stuff that people wanted, but they're working on it. And they keep saying that they'll put it in. They have, like, a 10-year plan for it or something like that. And that's all well and good, guys, but they may be taking too long to implement this stuff. And by the time they get this stuff in, other games might have already been doing it for years. So it's just something to think about. You know, I love Elite Dangerous, and I would love to be playing this the entire development cycle. You know, when they put everything out, I'd love to see the absolute finished product where you can go anywhere you want, land on any planet you want, and, you know, do all kinds of stuff. I mean, I'd love to see things like being able to find a planet and land on that planet and build yourself an outpost and, you know, build yourself a home on a planet that you discovered. You know what I mean? And maybe in that system build, you know, orbital stations and stuff and make it a viable system. That'd be really cool if players could do that, even if it's years down the road, even if it costs more credits than anyone has ever seen before to date. It would be something to work toward, and it would give somebody, or give people, something to be excited about. Like, let's take Final Fantasy XIV, for example. When they introduced player housing, everybody was excited. Having a house in Final Fantasy XIV doesn't really give you any kind of advantage. It doesn't do anything for you. It doesn't give you any kind of buffs. Well, I mean, it kind of does now that they've added, like, airship workshops where you can build your own airships and stuff like that. But when it was first implemented, it was just a place to go and stand around. And people loved it. People worked very hard to get the ridiculous amounts of money it took to buy yourself a house. And at the beginning, you could only get it for your free companies. You couldn't even get your own personal house. They didn't even have personal rooms that you could buy. And slowly they started implementing that stuff. But at the beginning, even without all of that, with the ability to just buy 4 walls, a ceiling, and a roof that you could put, you know, crafted furniture and stuff in for no reason other than to say you have it, the player base went crazy for it. And the fact that they offered only limited amounts of houses that could be bought created kind of like a competition of people like working really hard to get, you know, in there into these housing wards before they were all bought up. And it really, I'm not gonna say it was kind of early in the game's development. I guess it was like a year or something later after release, but even people who had decided that they were kind of losing interest in the game, their interest was absolutely rekindled when this came, you know, when it came out. And then they added these personal rooms that you could buy inside your free company house, and everybody went crazy with those and bought those. I remember the first day that they were out, I bought the very first one in my free company, obviously, because I mean, it wouldn't make, it makes a lot of sense, me being the leader of the free company, that I got the first house. But that's, you know, that's just because I logged on first and bought one first. But I remember buying the room in the free company house, and then spending a week just farming for materials and crafting and buying things that I couldn't craft to furnish the room. And I'm very happy with, you know, I spent a lot of money on it. I spent a lot of time on it. And that's something that I did for absolutely no reason, because nobody really ever goes into my room but me. So it's not like you know, it's not, I guess houses are kind of, or they used to be, a status symbol, I guess. Now everybody's been playing long enough that most people can afford the big stuff. But, you know, I remember buying our small house, and the whole free company would pitch in and make things and you know, help rearrange furniture and design things. And then when we decided we wanted to move from a small house into a mansion, which is the biggest you can get now, the whole free company like banded together to raise the money to buy this. And then when the airship workshops came out, I logged on immediately after the patch that put those in, bought one, and we all went into the workshop and we all started construction on our first airship. And it was amazing. And I think that a game like this, with all this real estate out in the galaxy, unused other than just scanning and landing on every once in a while, could really benefit from something like that. And imagine your player group. You know, player groups claim systems right now, and they defend their systems, but they can't really do anything in those systems. Or they can't really, I mean, you can say that you've claimed a system, but who's to stop, you know, who's to stop people from coming in and taking the system away? And you don't have, I mean, I guess you might have some kind of attachment to the system. So if somebody came in and ousted you from your system, you would probably mount a defense, and if you lost, come back maybe at some other time and try and retake that system. But imagine a system where you have poured in billions and billions and billions of credits and actually created bases and homes in those systems, and then somebody came to take it away from you. Wouldn't you fight a little bit harder? Wouldn't it be more exciting? Wouldn't it be a great thing to, you know, at some point regroup and have large-scale wars over these systems because you've poured in so much time and energy and money into the system? Yeah. Now, yes, it would suck if you did that and then some superior force came in and took over the place and you could never get it back. Yes, that would suck, but that's life, you know? But I just think that it would be really cool to have something that you can call your own on some distant planet where you have, you know, you discovered a planet that you really, really like. And you decide, you know what, this is going to be my home. And you spend all the money and all the time building a base on this planet. And then you decide, you know what, this planet's not enough. There are other planets in this system. I'm going to do the same thing. And you spend more and more like time and money and effort, and you create something really awesome in this system that people want to come and check out and see. And maybe there can be like some in-game kind of rules, like if you do this, you like kind of something like the first discovery thing, where if you are the first to discover a system and you build something on that system, it can never be really truly taken away from you. And that would be cool too. But it's just, games like this that you spend a lot of time in, and there's a lot of, you know, grinding and there's already so many different ships, and they're going to be adding multi-crew so you can move around on your ships. It'd be really cool if we could, you know, decorate our ships somehow with, you know, aquariums. And I know they were talking about ship pets and stuff like that, but it'd be cool if you could design the living quarters of your ship, make it your own, you know. It gives you like kind of an attachment to that ship so that you don't just throw it away to buy a new one. I mean, just little quality of life and, you know, role-playing style stuff would actually make this game absolutely amazing. And it would, I don't know, it would just lend a lot to the game. It would make the game more ours, you know what I mean? Because at the moment, right now, the only thing that you can really call your own is your ship. And with exception of like modules that you install onto your ship, your Vulture, let's say, is probably very similar, if not exactly the same, as lots of other people's Vultures. Now, you've got paint jobs, sure, but once again, there could be a lot of people with that same paint job. It's not unique, you know? I want Frontier to give me a way to make something unique that I can call my own, that people can see and be like, wow, that's really cool. He spent a lot of time on that. That's something that I'd really like to see. In any case, guys, we're looking at 2 more jumps, but that's all the time I've got. Remember, this is just a random star anyway. It doesn't really matter. I don't have a specific destination. But anyway, that's all the time I've got, guys. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. If you want to see more videos of Elite Dangerous or any of the other videos that I've done, go and hit that subscribe button. If you have anything to say, throw it down in the comments. Let me know what you think about any of the topics that I've talked about today. What do you think about the direction that Call of Duty is like potentially going in, and how it can affect games like Elite Dangerous if they try to do the same stuff? And also let me know what you think about, and I know I've talked about the building stations before, but let me know what you think. I mean, how cool would it be to be able to get all your friends together and go essentially colonize a system with your hard-earned money and your own blood and sweat and tears? I think it'd be really cool. In any case, remember, I'm Commander RestlessCorpse. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Eject. 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 Eject.